It's just such a cool learning environment where everyone is super kind and supportive. And you can tell the coaches they genuinely invested in your learning and you making progress. I know, and they love teaching and they love seeing you improve.
But everyone here, I think, is pretty excellent at their job. The photos, the videos, the coaches, the staff, and the students, everyone seems to be very connected and very much working towards a common goal, which is really cool. I don't think I've seen that. Everything was incredible and so well thought out.
So Betsy was my motivation to start surfing. So it was the pandemic. We were all buddies, and Betsy had been surfing a long time, and she kind of corralled us and got us in the water, and it was the perfect pandemic hobby. You know, outside, fresh air, social distancing right there on your surfboard, and it was a way to stay connected to people.
I've always loved the water and had done some boogie boarding and that sort of thing, and then I guess one year when my son was 9, we went to Waikiki and I had my first surf lesson, and I was like, oh, I love this.
I decided, I don't know, about a year or two ago that I just wanted to, one of my goals was to be a lifelong learner and to keep learning new things. And I sat down and made a list of things I wanted to learn how to do, and one of them was surfing.
I think I grew up in LA and I grew up spending a ton of time in the ocean and I never learned how to surf, and I think as an adult I always kind of regretted not having learned that because I had so much access. So when my mom invited me, I figured I love the ocean and it's something I always wish I knew how to do, so I might as well start now.
I started surfing about, I don't know, almost 15 years ago. You know, I moved to California from downtown Manhattan. And I had a lot of trouble adjusting and wanted to do something kind of different or out of the box. And I took a surf lesson and I just really loved it.
About a little over 6 months ago, I met Margaret. So yeah, we just started surfing.
The object of this is, you're not gonna love this, you're gonna cut this, is to fuck up.
So true.
And then just to have a lesson plan, if you will, for the next 6 months until you come back. And then you get something else to work on after that.
I think there are a lot of benefits, but I think the biggest benefits is you get to see your friends that you normally don't get to see. So, you know, I have Heather this time, and then Mark is another guest that we coordinated, so we get to be here at the same time, which is really cool. And, you know, all the coaches at this point, you know, are like, it's like seeing your old friends, which is, I think, one of the really cool things about coming to Surf Simply. It's such a big extended family.
I think I found out about Surf Simply from somebody at a surf camp who said, if you really want to learn, this is where you got to go.
I found out about them online, and there was a 2-year waiting list. I was like, well, that'll never happen. And so, but eventually I signed up and brought my family the first time, and this is my 4th time. So this is my happy place. I like coming back. I'm very much about the people. So I've just made a lot of friends here. When you start to come back, you have the ability to have that sink in as well as to take the next step.
I worked with Justin this week, and so I just wanted to learn some basics, you know, to better pop up, to, you know, have an angled takeoff, a few little things I wanted to pick up. And Justin was amazingly patient with me as I learned those things, and always had something very specific and very constructive to say every time I fell. So I had something to work on, and so it was very concrete.
I worked with Marlon.
You mentioned that the front foot, every time that it just jumps up like this, it's going to end up behind that black line, right?
Really taught me how to start to move on the board.
And this has a lot to do with where we're looking at our body's position, but mainly because we're forcing that foot through. So it doesn't give you time to open the hips, get the chest going sideways, and fulfilling it as we want.
Lovely and helpful and positive, and
I felt that too.
last time we were here, my son had him, and so I texted my son and said, "My coaches, Mama," and he's like, "Yes, that's amazing."
Yeah.
So I think that also made it fun because now 2 of us have had him, so like
Part of the
he's
family.
part of the family. Yeah.
I had Jessie this week, who is actually the big kahuna. She's the head of the teaching program, and I'm a beginning surfer, so I'm really looking at making sure my front foot goes over the stringer, which it never does, and trim on the wave. And also, we just began to start carving.
And Heather took off on some bombs.
Yeah,
That
I
means
did a lot, but I got pushed onto it. And you know what? I stood up, and I don't know. Yeah.
got front seat. At least 2 of those waves, and they were impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just sitting out there beyond kind of where the waves start to break was an amazing experience.
One, the 12 guests that are here, I think, spent a ton of time together and really it became their own little community. And also you can see everyone who works here, the coaches, the staff, the masseuse, everyone seems to be really invested in like everyone's success and well-being.
Everyone loves what they do, and it shows, and it just makes it such a fun and positive experience.
Okay, the food was incredible. I think I've never had just good meals served to me, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They did such a good job, but everyone here, I think, is pretty excellent at their job. The photos, the videos, everything was incredible and so like well thought out and like coordinated. It was really incredible.
Can you tell me what was your favorite part? What's your favorite part of the Surf experience?
My favorite part is Diego's cocktails. He makes me feel like he actually concocts these cocktails for me specifically. I like my cocktail. I get one at the end of the day, and it goes from this is the work day, not this is the fun day. And so, but no, this is an amazing environment, and the physicalness of this environment supports what we do every day. So.
This is my first time here with Diego, and that's really, I think that's really nice and fun. We need to go get him to teach us a little salsa as well. I think we missed an opportunity.
Yeah.
But it's so fun to hang out here with everybody and to have this amazing food and the atmosphere. So.
And I think the other part that's equally important are the guests. You get to meet some really, really cool people. I met Heather here. What was it? November, right?
Last November.
Yeah. And then I met Mark, who's another guest here, and we've been on several trips together outside of Surf Simply. And I was paired up with Margaret, who's coached by Ollie, and one of the most interesting person I've ever met. Professor of literature who specializes in literature of the sea, which is so cool. Yeah. And an amazing surfer. So yeah, I think being able to meet some really cool people who share the same love for surfing, I don't know, that's really cool.
Yes.
Yeah.